Welcome to News Now. The Nigerian government is demanding $406.75 million from Shell Petroleum Development Company of Nigeria Limited and its surrogate Shell Western Supply and Trading Limited over alleged crude oil theft. The amount represents the shortfall of the money paid by the multinational oil firm into the account of the Nigerian government with the Central Bank of Nigeria for crude oil lifted in 2013 and 2014. The government is accusing the Anglo-Dutch company of not declaring or under-declaring crude oil shipments during the period. The government is seeking a court order compelling the companies to pay the money into the central bank's account. Nigeria has also sued Chevron, Total and Ajib, asking for a total of $12.7 billion over alleged non-declaration of some 57 million barrels of crude shipped to the United States between 2011 and 2014. The oil firms are among up to 15 oil majors targeted by the Nigerian government for the recovery of $17 billion in deprived revenue. The Nigerian Air Force has commenced a new anti-terrorism operation in Nigeria's northeastern region. The operation, codenamed Operation Forest Storm, is a new phase of offensive air operations aimed at further degrading the capabilities of the Boko Haram terrorists in the Sambisa Forest General Area in Borno State. The operation commenced October 2nd, 2016 and is expected to last a few days. During this period, the Nigerian Air Force would be conducting a series of air interdictions to take out a number of carefully selected targets in the Sambisa Forest area. The Nigerian Senate has constituted an 8-man ad hoc committee to probe the alleged diversion of funds meant for internally displaced persons in Nigeria's northeast region. The committee will also investigate alleged diversion of grains and other food items from the strategic grains reserves. National Emergency Management Agency and other sources for the IDPs. Now members of the ad hoc committee to investigate Ashe Husani, Yahaya Abdullahi, Theodore Oji, Ben Bruce, Oluremi Tinubu, Tayo Alasho Adura, and Solomon Olamilekon, as well as Ali Wakili. The committee will work for 2 weeks, after which a public hearing now will be convened. The resolution followed a motion raised by Senator Bashir Babakaka Gabai from Borno Central District. It comes after a UN report said that almost 250,000 children in parts of Borno State are suffering from severe malnutrition. Still on the Senate, senators have all agreed on a 300,000 naira contribution each to alleviate the plight of internally displaced persons in all camps in the country. The senators agreed to make the donations after deliberating on the mounting humanitarian crisis in the northeast. After a debate on the motion, the Senate agreed to do more than just investigate by donating money to the IDPs. Now, speaking on the motion, Senate President Bukola Saraki described the humanitarian crisis as an outcome of poor coordination, slow response, and monumental corruption. According to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, over 2.2 million Nigerians are currently living in formal camps, host communities, and satellite camps in liberated communities as a result of insurgency in northeastern states of Borno, Yobe, Taraba, Gombe, Bauchi, and Adamawa states. The Nigerian Army says it will continue to respect the ongoing negotiation effort of the Nigerian government with militants in the Niger Delta region, even as it continues its operation in the troubled region. The Army says it will respect the negotiation efforts, but warned that it was ready to deal with any group or individual causing trouble in the region. It also assured that it will continue to partner with peace-minded groups and stakeholders to bring lasting peace in any security-threatened areas or locations. The restive southern swamped region has been rocked by violence against oil and gas pipelines since the start of the year, reducing the OPEC members' output by 700,000 barrels a day to 1.56 million barrels per day. The attacks had previously pushed the country's oil production to a 30-year low some months ago. The Code of Conduct Tribunal sitting in Abuja on Tuesday found former Minister of Niger Delta, Godswill Orubebe, guilty of non-declaration of assets. Orubebe was charged by the Code of Conduct Bureau for alleged failure to declare landed property in Kiamo and Asokoro districts in Abuja on assumption of office as minister on September 26, 2007. Now, following the guilty verdict, Chairman of the Tribunal, Justice Danladi Umar, announced a forfeiture of the property located in the Asokoro area of Abuja. The former minister is also standing trial, bordering corruption, perjury, and diversion of public funds by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC). That case has been adjourned till November the 10th. The West African Regional Court has delivered judgment in favor of a former National Security Advisor, Sambo Dasuki, in his case against the Nigerian government. Dasuki had petitioned the Economic Community of West African States (ECOWAS) Court of Justice over an alleged violation of his rights by the Nigerian government. Now, the Nigerian government argued that Dasuki was detained for his own protection and his release from detention would constitute a threat to national security. However, the court in its ruling said the search on Dasuki's house without a search warrant was unlawful. It also ruled that the former NSA's continued detention without trial is also unlawful since he has met the bail condition granted by 3 courts, before which he was arraigned and ordered that the government pay a 15 million naira fine to Dasuki as compensation for his detention. A federal high court in Abuja has adjourned the trial of Nigeria's former Chief of the Air Staff, Adeshola Amosun, to October the 21st. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) is accusing Amosun of being involved in a 21 billion naira fraud, while he was in office. He pleaded not guilty to all the charges and agreed to enter a plea bargain. At the resumed hearing on Tuesday, lawyers representing the former Air Chief told the court that the plea bargain talks with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission was still ongoing and asked for an adjournment. But the prosecuting counsel told the court that he was ready to open his case against the defendants and had already brought 2 witnesses to court for trial to commence. After listening to both counsel, the judge agreed to adjourn the trial. A former Minister of Environment, Laurentia Laraba Malam, has been reportedly kidnapped by unknown gunmen. She was kidnapped alongside her husband on Monday at about 7 p.m. in Jere, Kagarko local government area of Kaduna State, that's in northwest Nigeria. They were returning to Kaduna from Abuja when they ran into the hoodlums who blocked the Abuja Expressway. The incident has been confirmed by the police command in Kaduna State. The police assured that they were tracking down the perpetrators and promised to ensure the safe release of the minister and her husband. Now, Malam served as Minister of Environment under former President Goodluck Jonathan. The Nigerian government has inaugurated a Constitutional and Electoral Reforms Committee to be headed by former Senate President Ken Nnamani. The committee was inaugurated by the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. It's expected to review electoral environment laws and experiences from recent elections conducted in Nigeria and make recommendations to strengthen and achieve the conduct of free and fair elections in Nigeria. Malami advised the committee to consult with the National Assembly and Judiciary in order to make recommendations that would stand the test of time. He expressed the hope that the committee would turn in a report with depth and quality that would resound with years to come and would facilitate the re-engineering of the electoral practice. President of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, has said he is not interested in purchasing any of Nigeria's national assets, even if the federal government offers to sell the Nigerian liquefied natural gas to him. He was reacting to criticism that have trailed his comments for the sale of national assets. Dangote told This Day newspaper that his proposal was born out of the desire to see Nigeria get out of the current economic recession. He also maintained that the sale of some of the national assets was one of the ways out of the recession. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation has warned that the nation's oil and gas reserves are already depleting. A statement from the office of the Group Managing Director of the NNPC says the country needed to increase its gas reserve base to improve oil production. Nigeria was Africa's largest economy and its top oil producer, but its public finances have suffered as the price of crude oil dropped around the world. The economic crisis has also worsened due to attacks on the country's pipelines by militants in the Niger Delta region. Now, the attack by militants had driven oil production to around 700 barrels per day. That's below the country's 2016 budget assumption of 2.2 million barrels per day. We'll take a short break, and when we come, we'll be discussing business.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes,
Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no. You don't need to do this. We're only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey.
Which came up with this one? I don't understand. You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. The International Monetary Fund has predicted that Nigeria's economy will grow away from a recession in 2017. Nigeria is currently in a recession after official data from the country's Bureau of Statistics showed that its gross domestic product contracted by 2.06% in the second quarter, sending Africa's largest economy into a recession after a decline in the first quarter. The IMF had forecast that the economy would contract by 1.8% in 2016, but the new reviews are more positive. According to the new reviews, the current economic recession will outlast 2016 with a gross domestic product contraction of 1.7%. The Nigerian government has actually advertised the sale of 2 aircrafts in the presidential fleet and directed that the bids be quoted in US dollars. The number of the aircraft in the presidential fleet has been a subject of controversy, with critics lamenting the cost of maintaining them in a period of economic crisis. Ben Bruce, a senator representing Bayelsa East in the Nigerian Senate, has been one of the vocal voices in the National Assembly who has been asking the president to sell off all the jets. A Falcon 7X and Hawker 4000 are the aircraft to be disposed, according to an advert placed in a national daily. Interested buyers were asked to inspect the Falcon at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, and the Hawker at Cessna Zurich Citation Service Center, Zurich, Switzerland. Well, we don't know how much that will bring the country. Now, the Nigerian Naira on Tuesday, October 4th, dropped 1 point at the parallel market to trade at $476 Naira to the dollar. According to traders, the dollar liquidity remains a major challenge in the market, but the rate looks to be stabilizing following the introduction of Travelex, a licensed forex dealer. The fall of the local currency comes just after European Union official Filippo Amato advised the federal government to devalue the Naira as part of measures to tackle the economic recession. According to Amato, the recession was a recent development which was due to a number of factors, including the fall in oil prices and resurgence of militancy in the Niger Delta region of the country. Oil prices fell on Tuesday on news that Iran and Libya have continued to increase production, overshadowing an OPEC agreement struck last week to freeze output levels. Benchmark Brent crude oil futures were trading at $50.49, while U.S. crude was down $48.39 a barrel. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries said last week it would cut output to between 32.5 million barrels per day and 33.0 million barrels per day from about 33.5 million barrels per day, with details to be finalized at its policy meeting in November. One of the most powerful Atlantic hurricanes in recent years has hit Haiti, bringing winds, heavy rain, and dangerous storm surges. Hurricane Matthew, a Category 4 storm, made landfall at the southwestern tip at about 11 GMT. Reports from the southern coast spoke of communities underwater and buildings stripped of roofs. Haiti's interim president, Jocelyn Privat, said earlier that some people at sea or who had not respected alerts had died, but he gave no figures. Protesters at South Africa's Wits University attacked police vehicles with rocks and overturned another on Tuesday as violence in nationwide demonstrations over high tuition fees escalated. Demonstrations over the cost of university education have highlighted frustration at enduring inequalities in Africa's most industrialized countries more than 2 decades after the end of apartheid. At least 2 people were arrested on Tuesday when police moved in to enforce a court order on public gathering at the University of Wits Witwatersrand. Nigeria's female under-17 national team, the Flamingos, have drawn their second group game at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Jordan after playing out a goalless draw with England. Despite chances from both outfits, neither side was able to break the deadlock. Now, the draw leaves the team with 1 point from 2 games after they lost their first match to Brazil. It means that the team must now win the third group game against Korea Democratic Republic to stand any chance of qualifying to the quarterfinals. The match will take place on Saturday at 6 p.m. Nigerian time. The Court of Arbitration for Sports has reduced the 2-year doping ban placed on former world number 1 Maria Sharapova to 15 months. Sharapova will now be eligible to return to tennis on April the 26th, 2017. The French Open is her first available Grand Slam. Now, the International Tennis Federation had suspended Sharapova after she tested positive to a banned substance, meldonium, during the Australian Open in January. The Russian said she did not realize the drug she had been using for the past 10 years was declared a banned substance by WADA on January the 1st, 2016. Now, to some cheering news from Nigeria. Nigerian comedian Gandoki has set a new world record for the longest stand-up comedy performance by an individual. Gandoki set a time of 46 hours, 10 minutes to beat the previous time of 40 hours set by American comedian David Scott. The Nigerian started his attempt by 8 p.m. on Thursday, September 30th, and had aimed to do a 48-hour show. He, however, finished on Saturday, October 1st, just for a few minutes after 4 p.m. and 5 hours, 50 minutes short of his initial target of 48 hours. The stage is set, the clock ticking, and the microphone on standby. All set for Nigerian comedian Gandoki, who is giving himself the task of setting a new world record for the longest stand-up comedy performance by an individual. And then the show begins.
Women, very easy to deceive. If I like answer, they'll tell you, say, I want a lovely, God-fearing man. Just be God-fearing man for a front.
His supporters are enthralled as he puts up a captivating performance, and with each passing hour, he edges closer to an historic milestone. But as the time goes on, his body begins to let him down.
That's how they're supposed to be before. You know, that's how they complain to them, complain to them, complain. Someone said, that is true.
But with his supporters urging him on, Gandoki remains determined to make history.
Father, we want to say thank you.
He takes a 15-minute break after every 4 hours to refresh and fire on, but he never sleeps.
They're supposed to be before.
He continues the routine until the 42nd hour, when his body finally caves in.
Wow. Congratulations. Yeah.
The new record, which stands at 42 hours and 10 minutes, creates an outpour of joy among his supporters.
We want to congratulate you. We are happy with you. We stand with Gadonki. If you stand with Gadonki, let me see your hands up. And you have just distinguished yourself as a veteran, as a legend, as an icon You are comedy itself. So nothing can be described when they talk about stand-up comedy without the name Gadonki.
The crowd is now in full celebratory mood. His fellow comedians say these achievements will create a new pathway for everyone in the entertainment industry.
It's a great deal in Nigeria. It's in the first stand-up comedian in Nigeria, breaking world record, and he set his own record too. At least this man has been talking for over 43 hours now, non-stop. It's a great thing, great achievement in Nigeria.
Everybody know how important the Guinness World Record is. They tend to give whatever industry, whoever broke the record is, some level of, respect, some level of recognition. So that's what this will do for the Nigerian comedy industry. If we've not been known all over the world before, this is a way for them to know that there's a country called Nigeria in Africa, and of course they have a comedy industry there. That's what that will do for us, and it's a great one for Nigeria.
The accolades do not stop there. His manager and sponsor also say this is the start of something special for the comedian.
This is a new record, world record, which are about to prove officially and get certified for this, of course, and it's supposed to open other doors. And so it's the beginning of the new Gandoki. In fact, the new Gandoki runs an office, which you all know by now. It's called Office of Gandoki. So expect so much more from Office of Gandoki based on this new record.
This is history that has been made, and I believe this is a yardstick for the whole world to recognize Nigeria as a force to be reckoned with, and also to open doors for all other young arts in comedy, in music, that the sky is the limit. Anybody can also come up and do something different. And I also makes me believe that whatever you believe in, whatever you like doing, do it well. Keep doing it well, and you know that the sky is everybody's limit.
There's no doubt that this indeed is an historic achievement for Gandoki and the Nigerian entertainment industry. With the record still to be ratified by the Guinness Book of World Records, all Gandoki can do now is hope this achievement stays for a very long time. Well, not an easy record to set. We say congratulations to Gandoki and congratulations to Nigeria. It's on that note we end news now. Thanks very much for watching. Continue to stay tuned to TV360.